Once upon a time, in the heart of the jungle lived a mighty lion. He was the king of his domain, feared and respected by all who lived there. But despite his ferocious appearance and powerful presence, even the mighty lion was not above seeking assistance when it was needed. One day, the lion was out hunting for prey. He had just caught a nice fat deer and dragged it back to his den, which was hidden away in the thick foliage. But before he could enjoy his hard-earned meal, the foresters set up a trap to catch the lion. The devious plan involved a large net made of strong ropes and branches, carefully concealed in the undergrowth near the lion's favorite hunting grounds. They baited the net with the carcass of a freshly killed gazelle, knowing that the lion's predatory instincts would drive him to investigate. As fate would have it, the lion fell right into their trap. He struggled in vain against the strong ropes that bound him, but to no avail. The more he struggled, the tighter the net became, until finally he lay still, exhausted and trapped. The hunters had managed to capture the elusive beast, and they were ecstatic with their success. They had never dared to dream that they would one day catch the infamous man-eater alive. And now their trophy was secured. They wasted no time in making preparations to transport their captive to the kingdom, where it would be paraded through the streets as a symbol of their bravery. But as the men approached, the lion let out a deafening roar, sending the birds scattering in panic and the monkeys fleeing up the trees. It was a sound that echoed through the forest, a testament to the raw power that was contained within the net. The hunters froze in their tracks, fear momentarily eclipsing their triumph. They had indeed caught the lion, but now they faced the daunting task of transporting this furious beast without getting hurt. They decided to tie the net securely to a sturdy wagon, forming a makeshift cage that would hopefully keep the lion contained during the journey. With the lion secured, they started their long trek to the kingdom. They moved cautiously, keeping an eye on the net and bracing themselves for any sudden movements from their captive. As they ventured deeper into the forest, the sun began its slow descent, casting long shadows that danced ominously around them. The dense canopy overhead turned the forest into a dimly lit labyrinth, amplifying the sense of unease that had settled upon the hunters. And then they heard it again, the lion's roar, echoing through the twilight, shaking the very foundations of their courage. Suddenly, the net holding the lion snapped, and the mighty animal broke free from its restraints. With a surge of adrenaline, the hunters scattered, each man desperate to escape the wrath of the furious lion. But the lion was quick and graceful, far from the lumbering beast they had imagined. It moved with the agility of a panther, bounding over logs and leaping across streams with ease. As the hunters fled, the lion gave chase, its roars echoing their terror. It was a terrifying sight, a blur of golden fur and gnashing teeth against the darkening backdrop of the forest. But the lion wasn't interested in pursuing them further. It was too focused on escaping the net and finding a way out of the forest. The lion broke through the last of the trees and found itself in a wide open field. In the distance, it saw a small cottage surrounded by a large net, similar to the one it had just escaped from. The lion thought it was a deer and charged towards it, only to be caught in the net once again. This time, though, the net was much smaller and weaker, and the lion found himself trapped in the corner. Just as it was beginning to panic, a tiny mouse appeared on the scene. The mouse, who was known throughout the land for its bravery and quick thinking, wasted no time in assessing the situation. With a quick bite, it severed one of the ropes securing the net, and the lion was able to wriggle out to its great relief. The mouse squeaked, "A little help goes a long way," and the lion understood exactly what it meant. It had been fortunate to escape the hunters, but it owed its freedom to this tiny creature, and it was deeply grateful. The lion looked down at the small mouse and couldn't help but feel a sense of admiration. Despite its size, the mouse had shown incredible bravery and resourcefulness, and the lion knew that it had been lucky to have encountered such a kind soul. In a moment of spontaneous gratitude, the lion did something completely out of character. It picked up the mouse in its mouth and carried it to a nearby stream. Then, with a gentle nudge, it pushed the mouse into the water, allowing it to drink its fill. The mouse lapped up the cool water, and when it looked up, the lion gave it a reassuring nod. It was a silent acknowledgement of the debt the lion owed to this tiny creature, a debt that went beyond the simple act of freeing it from the net. The mouse, touched by the lion's gesture, scurried up the lion's head and nestled in the fur around its ears. The lion, feeling the warmth of the mouse's tiny body against its rough hide, couldn't It was an unexpected sound, but it was music to the mouse's ears. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, the lion and the mouse made their way through the forest together. They walked side by side, the mighty lion and the tiny mouse. An unlikely pair, bound together by a shared experience and a newfound respect for one another. The forest seemed to close around them, whispering secrets in hushed tones, as if sharing in the magic of their camaraderie. Suddenly, the lion froze in its tracks, its ears pricked forward, listening intently to a rustle in the undergrowth. Its eyes, sharp as daggers, scanned the shadows, searching for the source of the disturbance. The mouse, sensing the shift in the lion's demeanor, scurried up onto its back and looked around curiously. And then they saw it, a pair of glowing eyes peering at them from the darkness. A low growl rumbled in the lion's throat as it took a step forward, ready to confront whatever danger lurked in the shadows. The mouse, though tiny, stood its ground, squeaking defiantly at the unseen threat. Together, the lion and the mouse faced the darkness, their bond growing stronger, each passing moment. From that day on, the lion and the mouse became the best of friends. They roamed the forest together, sharing their food and protecting each other from harm. The lion learned that size and strength were not everything, and the mouse discovered that even the smallest creature could make a difference. Their friendship was a beacon of hope and kindness in the sometimes harsh and unforgiving world. And wherever they went, their story served as a reminder to all who knew them that true strength lay not in physical power, but in the courage to be kind. And so, the tale of the lion and the mouse echoed through the ages, carrying with it a timeless message of friendship, bravery, and the transformative power of kindness. For in the grand tapestry of life, it is often the smallest threads that create the most intricate and enduring patterns. The next day, the lion was out hunting, but soon returned with a heavy heart. His mother was sick, and only the herb that grew near the water of the moon could cure her. However, the waters of the moon were guarded by a vicious crocodile, and the lion had failed to get past the beast. Upon hearing this, the mouse immediately set out to help. After walking for a while, they came across a narrow cave. "We can't go this way," said the mouse. "It's too dangerous." "What are we going to do then?" asked the lion. "This way," squeaked the mouse, pointing to a hole in the ceiling. "We'll go down there." So they walked on until they reached a deep pit. "I can't jump that far," said the lion sadly. "Don't worry, I'll help you," said the mouse, climbing on the lion's tail. It jumped up and down, making the lion's tail act like a spring. The lion arched his back and jumped, landing safely on the other side. "Thank you, my friend," said the lion. "It's hurting ever since." Together, they walked on until they reached the waters of the moon. There, growing on a rock, was the life-saving herb. But as the lion bent down to grab it, the crocodile snapped at it. Growling, the lion swallowed the crocodile away, but it kept coming back. "I need that herb, or my mother will die," cried the lion. Hearing this, the mouse climbed up the crocodile's snout and squeaked, "Stop bothering the lion. He hasn't done anything to you." "Oh yeah," said the crocodile. "Then why doesn't he let me eat him?" "Well, that's because I won't allow it," squeaked the mouse. With that, the mouse bit the crocodile's nose. It roared in pain, fell on the ground and fainted. Quickly, the lion grabbed the herb and they hurried back home. The lion's mother drank the potion and soon felt better. "Thank you, little mouse," she said. "You saved my son, and I will be forever in your debt." From that day on, the lion and the mouse remained the best of friends, proving that true friendship knows no bounds.